Oh, I know.
But I got your back.
Oh, I trust you.
Right,
sort of.
I understand.
All right. If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or fire us off an email at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 11. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock, Albert.
What is going on, Joel, my friend?
Not much. Getting ready to go on a little trip to Florida. I'll be out there for 8 days, so we won't have a show next week, which is a huge bummer. I apologize for that.
Yes.
Unless you're going to
just if we get back in the swing of things, we're going to take a little break. But it's only this is a known scheduled break. This is not surprise.
Right.
We're telling you today.
Now you know.
You're either watching this live, you're listening to it. You know that on Monday the 23rd, 23rd, there's not going to be a show, and subsequently there will be nothing on iTunes on Monday the 25th. Right. You know this. Or Wednesday the 25th. Yeah.
Wednesday, right? And you can all be happy because I will be at a beach doing nothing.
Yeah, you should be glad you're not there, actually.
Yeah.
He tends to drop too much clothes at beaches.
I don't wear clothes at beaches. I'm a nude beach only guy, even if the beach itself is not nude.
Which is ironic because he does that at like the Chuck E. Cheese beach.
Right, yeah, I call everything a beach as well. So I'm pretty much nude. At my work, it's a beach.
Life's a beach.
It's been a problem. Apologize.
All right, well, now, Hitman kind of let us, before we get into the meat of the show, we're still looking for an intro for the show. 30 seconds, Tool to Play presents, Still Got Game. I do the same thing every week. Hitman said he was going to give us something, and I haven't really got anything from Hitman yet.
Well, let me be fair to Hit right now. He's and we can all congratulate him. He just got a promotion at his job. He's doing the graphic design for wherever he works. I'll let him talk about what
Spoil
he works
that.
at,
Yeah, I saw that.
So the man is busy, but he does put out some quality stuff. Clearly he does because he's getting hired to be a graphic designer, so he must know something.
True.
But I think he will have something for us soon. But do not let that stop you from getting out there and making something of your own. If it's quality, if it's better than Hitman's, we don't care. His friendship doesn't matter. He's out the door.
No, yeah,
you're in.
No loyalty here.
No loyalty.
The only loyalty is between Jay and I.
Coke,
Everybody
Pepsi,
else,
that's it. All day
go.
long. Doesn't matter. We'll drink it. If you fucking make us and you want to sell it, we'll sell it. Doesn't matter. We don't care.
Everybody's replaceable.
That's right.
Yep. All right. Well, take that. Take that, buddy. Just give us something.
Let's get off your ass.
On that, why don't we hop over to feedback from last week's show? Remember, if you leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after 1 minute. Not So Virgin Mary comments. So glad that you guys are back from vacation. I laughed so hard at the end of last episode when D Smooth turned down the lights for sexy time. Keep up the great work, guys.
Sexy time.
Yeah, that was. Obviously, I had to watch that more than once because I edit the show, and it was pretty creepy. You were doing your sexy time shit. I had to, but you were already like low light sexy.
Oh, I
time,
turned the lights down. Yeah.
I had to.
I had to give you the mood so that you could come into my world. That's how I do it. I'm enticing you. Next time it's gonna be a candle at dinner. You're not even gonna notice. It's gonna be great.
See? It's gonna be like boom. There it is. We're on a date. I'll be like, what happened? I don't understand.
That is how I date, by the way. I just bring you come into my room. You think, hey, we're just hanging out. Nothing's going on. Lights go low. Candle comes out.
Boom,
Romance.
there's food. You're like, whoa. Hey,
P.S. We're dating.
As long as the candle at dinner, we might as well share it.
Wow.
So yes, that was that's fun, and maybe someday we will start a late night soft talk and podcast like that.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. It's Tool to Play After Dark. I'm Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I'm Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
We're coming at you sexy.
I'm gonna Joel Dude I Rock your world.
I'm gonna de-smooth all over your face.
Oh, geez, I don't think that's wow. That is. Whew.
All right, back to the feedback from last week's show. Acid Snow comments. I appreciate that the show can be listened to in a non-video form because I'm currently relocating and the hotel I'm staying at has really slow internet. So getting around the web is somewhat of a drag, but I still can enjoy Still Got Game. So that's true. For those of you that don't know, that only absorb this show via either the Twitch TV stream or on YouTube, this show actually started as a podcast, and it's on iTunes, and you can find it there. You can listen to the episodes, and if you want to listen to the previous 7 years of shows now, you can also on iTunes hit up Too Old to Type Radio, which was the original incarnation of the show, about 200 something episodes there. Then it was briefly called Gaming Under the Influence until we had a conflict with another show of the same name. And now it is Still Got Game, and that's why we're at episode 11. But
Yeah.
really, we're about 300 something episodes deep.
That's crazy to think about that.
Yep, long time. Long time.
Too long.
All right, and shame on Shane comments. Great coverage on the PS Vita TV thing. I had thought the same thing as Duty Rock, that it was just for playing Vita games on the TV. Your feature explanation about streaming PS4 games to it has sold me on when these come out in the US. Thanks.
So he's sold on it already.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure I'm sold. We talked about this before, but I don't really know if it. I think it plays to a certain type of person. Like if you have that idea where you might not have the use of your TV and you've got to go into a different room, I think it's a lovely idea. It's still not for me, but I think it's a lovely idea.
Yeah, if you live by yourself, it makes no sense.
No.
But if you at all have to share the TV on which your PS4 will be normally connected, then it's definitely a great thing. And like I said here, for us, that makes a lot more sense than using it the other way, because who really wants to play a Vita game blown up on the TV?
Not me. Not anybody. I'm gonna go out and I don't know who's doing this. Like, I don't know
if
who
somebody's
that's
doing it,
for.
let us know. Like
I'd be
if you
interested
did
to
it
know.
with your DS and you were that one guy that bought that cable, let us know.
Yeah, I'd be interested in if actually anyone goes through with that. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's probably very low probability.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Riza comments. Holy shit. I love the Dick Wolves discussion in the last episode. So good. And I almost pissed my pants with the music choice for the end of the show, which was Hungry Like the Wolf.
Of course.
Yes, it seemed to fit flawlessly. After,
That was quality. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I actually watched it for the dimming of the lights because I couldn't wait to see how that played out, and that came out, and I was like, oh god, this cannot get any better.
Yep, that's how it goes. Yes.
But yeah, as for the Dick Wolves thing, that whole discussion, I love those types of discussions where we really get into it. So if you didn't check out last week's show, go check it out. It's up on Tool to Play, where we talked about the Dick Wolf stuff. So I'm not going to tell you what that is now because I want you to go watch that entire show because it's
now you're probably
show.
like Dick Wolves. What?
Yeah, Dick Wolves. What is that?
It's a Dick Wolf.
Go watch, but don't leave yet because you're watching a live show. So stay here for now.
Wait.
Wait.
That one can
go
wait
back.
because it's
Yes.
not live. This one is live. It cannot wait.
Exactly.
Well, it could wait like that one did now, but this one is live now. So you might as well watch this one now, then watch that one then.
Was that Inception? What just happened?
Yep. It's like a show inside a show inside a show. Maybe I'll just show last week's episode on my iPhone here in front of the screen.
Oh, that'd be great. Or you should show me showing last week's show on your iPhone. I want to get deep into it.
Yes, yeah. We got to at least go 2 layers
Two
deep.
layers deep. That's it.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. And then when we need to roll out, I'll just tap my glass. And then we can start backing out.
Movie references.
All right, well, if any of you feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, I have nothing to share this week. There is a bit of discussion going on over on the Tool to Play Facebook page where we're discussing some of the future modifications to Tool to Play, and we've taken it. Ironically, we're taking the discussion off of the website to talk about the future of the website over to Facebook. Well, that's once again an Inception thing.
Yeah, well, that was the impetus for the discussion is everyone knows like social media has kind of taken over and social media is how we discuss games. And consequently, because of that, Tool to Play, the forum, which was what made Tool to Play a long time ago, has not had nearly as much traffic as it used to. That's not a good or a bad thing, really. It's just the way discussion has been moving. And so the question posed is really, what does Tool to Play serve for the community once you don't really need that like totally tight-knit group of discussions? And, as you can see, Tool to Play has become more of a, well, at least we've tried to be a better content provider in general. Yep. And that shift and how that kind of works out in the next iteration of Tool to Play is the discussion we're having. So we invite anyone who's not in the Tool to Play group, as long as you're 25 years or older, get on Facebook, go there. We're probably going to have it on Twitter as well, and we'll probably have it on the site as well, too. We just started on Facebook just because it's got a nice flow to it. That's kind of why discussions tend to move to social media. So it's an interesting talk. It's an interesting topic. Nothing is set in stone. We're not burning bridges, setting shit on fire. We're just talking.
It's not something exclusive to Tool to Play either.
No, not at all.
Go to any forum that you used to frequent maybe 6-7 years ago, even huge forums, and see the quantity of posts now versus then. And it's just the natural shift where social media has provided this new outlet where instead of taking your discussions to very individualized locations, you have this really broad location that can be broken into these individualized chunks.
Right.
Kind of like we were with clans on Too Old to Play. You would come to Too Old to Play as an older gamer, and then we further broke it down into clans for you. Well, we still do all that, but at the same time, social media is huge. You can go to discuss Lady Gaga, or you can discuss video games as an older gamer. Right. And now it's all broken down in those same sort of categories.
Yeah, and we've also seen just in general older gamers themselves. When me and Derek started this in the beginning, being an older gamer was still a little bit of a faux pas. And not like tremendously, but if you were an older gamer, there wasn't that many people playing video games. This explosion of just gaming in general has targeted people that weren't gamers when they were kids. When me and Derek started, we started because we played video games all the fucking time.
Yep.
From when we were little to now. But we've got gamers now that are just fresh to playing Halo or fresh to playing whatever game came out. It's a much bigger market, and really older gamers aren't that like rare anymore. Everyone's an older gamer now. So
we were that first generation of people
Right.
that started gaming and continue to game.
Yes.
And there were people that obviously, because it wasn't a huge thing then, there was some time between then and now where people grew up and they didn't play any video games, and they came on later. Like even Tiff, she came on in the last 10 years or so, and now she's one of the more hardcore gamers. I'll bet you dollars to fucking donuts that she has a higher gamer score than you. So,
clearly, there's no I don't even question that. That's a fact.
So it just goes to show, like, different people came on at different times, and the taboo that there once was when people were like, oh, what do you do after work? You go watch movies, you do this.
Right.
I go home, I play video games. And they're like, whoa, video
they're like,
games, huh? Like, with your kids? And you're like, no, I play by myself.
Like alone, like with Cheetos and stuff.
Yeah. They're like, wow, that's cool. You're cool. But now that stigma is gone, and now it's become very popular. And because of that, now the whole internet is there to collect older gamers instead of that very niche, segregated community.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So, it's like we'll always do the show. We'll always do what we do because we love video games, like me and Derek and the select few, Sarcasm and a lot of the writers. That's what we like to do. We like to talk about video games, period. And Tool to Play started because we like to talk about video games. But, there's the evolution there too. We want to make sure that we're servicing the people that originally came to Tool to Play for that reason, which was to meet people and play video games. But it's not that hard to meet people and play video games anymore. A lot of people do it. Your neighbor probably does it. So how does that conversation relate in the next iteration of Tool to Play? Like I said, we'll always be around because we don't care. We're not doing it for profit. We're not making any money. We just do it because it's what we like to do. So Tool to Play will always be there.
And we'll still try to find the ways to get you in touch with people that you have something in common with. So maybe you do now. Maybe you went to your neighborhood block party and 4 of your neighbors play Halo, and you're like, hey, let's all play Halo. Well, now, hey, guess what? We'll find someone for you and your 4 neighbors to play Halo with that also some guy plays with his neighbors, and they're looking for another, a bunch of guys that can't play till after 9:30 at night and only on Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's when their wife is out. Like that's the beauty of what we can help with.
Yeah,
So, and we'll figure out a way. We'll constantly keep providing news and content from the perspective of older gamers, and we're just going to figure out a way to better service our community.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so check that out. We'll be up on Twitter at some point, and the question will always be on Tool to Play, so we'll let you know when that gets posted. But if not, Facebook right now, it's in our group. Go check it out.
Yep. And on that, we will jump over into what we're playing. Jay, what are you playing this week?
This week, I have absolutely no time because I'm getting prepared to go to Florida, so I have really tons of actual work to do, which really blows, sadly. Like today, I barely even got home in time to do the show. And then tonight, I got to do more work and then blah, 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 blah. You guys don't care about that because it doesn't involve video games. So sadly, nothing. I will, however, play a little bit of World of Warcraft on Tuesday because it's my one raiding night a week. And there is a new patch, 5.4, that came out. So I actually have stuff to do in the game, which is always fun when you're paying for something every month.
Oh, yeah. That sounds so fun.
So there will be a little bit of while. Not as much as normal, sadly. But that's about it for me. I mean, what have you been doing? I saw your list in the thing. And it's like, what
my list keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
so I'll start with the least things I played.
Okay.
So the smallest, just a teeny bit of Disney Infinity still. Went back to that. Just one afternoon of that, played through some more of, I think that was the Incredibles one that I played through there. I've been playing World Series of Poker Full House Pro, like if it's late at night and Tiff's gone to bed and then I play some Halo and then good buddy Mike Scott goes to bed, I play with, I just kill my last hour on World Series of Poker before I call it a night. So, but other than that, I've been doing 2 nights a week with Mr. GBMS and Tiff playing Borderlands 2. When she goes to bed, play some Halo 4. And then starting this weekend, Tiff hadn't played any Diablo 3 on the PC. So she picked it up. We're doing couch co-op through Diablo 3, and we did about 3 hours Friday night. Actually, I lied. It was probably 6 hours Friday night, and then a 12-hour clip in a row on Sunday.
How does it play on the console? Is it worth picking?
It's decent. It plays a lot like the original Torchlight did on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And because some console gamers have not dealt with this sort of game, they're really good with, and it's actually the same way on the PC, but you don't notice that they're piecemealing in your skills. But it's like, hey, learn how to use your A button. And then once you learn how to use A, we're going to bring in right trigger. And then now you got those two down. Now we're going to bring in the X. And then
yeah, PC just assumes it. It's like, okay, you play the PC, that you're competent. Go ahead.
As you level up, things slowly come in over and over time. And I think we're like level 16, 17 around there at this point. And it's fun. I'm playing the Witch Doctor. She's playing
Witch Doctor.
She's playing the Demon Hunter.
Oh, Demon Hunter. Those are the two. That's actually the two that I leveled up. Was Witch Doctor and Demon Hunter.
Nice.
And they're coming up with expansion as well. Actually, Diablo, Diablo, one of the highest selling PC games of all time, if not the highest selling. But then on the backside of that, one of the most shit upon games of all time as well. A lot of the old time fans of Diablo 2 hated it. The expansion is coming out very soon, and it actually looks really good. So I probably will pick that up and play through that on PC as well. I love Diablo. I mean, I think the idea of playing Diablo all the time is why people realize they didn't like this game anymore, because it doesn't fit like it used to back in the day.
When there was nothing to fill your time. It was like, hey,
yeah.
I can sit around all day and do this. And I have the PC one, which is nice if you want to do, you're going to go in there, you're going to play the auction house, you're going to do that sort of thing. But for the old school couch co-op, let's sit down and play through a fucking, let's level up, let's go through loot. Let's see who gets what. It is a fun game to play on the couch. And granted, we're only playing the two of us, but I can see how it would scale out really well for other people.
Now, are they doing real money auction house inside
No, the console one does not have the auction house.
Gotcha. That probably makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know how they would really do
there's
that.
a lot of rules and regulations to consoles that do not exist in the Sodom and Gomorrah PC world, where you could actually... Yeah, there were until those got shut down. There were actual casinos on your PC. You could go there and gamble real money. So, there's different rule set that's available there. But it's a blast. And the other nice thing is, your friends that are not PC gamers will be there. I've seen, as I've been playing, when Tiff and I are logged in, I've seen probably 6 or 7 of her friends. So-and-so is also playing Diablo 3. And I've seen 5 or 6 of my friends. So, and people that I didn't think were Diablo people, because probably they weren't PC gamers. And now it's opened it up to a whole brand new chunk of people. And I think it's great for the game and great for Blizzard.
That's good stuff. I'm glad they're coming back to the console. I think Blizzard does well there as well. They've got a lot of opportunities going forward too. Now they've got their Titan, or whatever, we don't know the name of their next MMO is going to be. They've actually pushed that back. And that's why I respect them as a company. People thought that's a bad thing, but they said, look, we don't like where this game is going. We're scrapping it and starting over. Not a lot of companies can do that. First of all, not a lot of companies have the money to do that, because they basically just wasted 5 years of development. Not wasted, but it's a lot wasted.
It's the Duke Nukem Forever thing, where you restart so many times. Eventually, when you put it out, no one's going to be happy, because they expect a lot more that way.
Yeah, and Blizzard works really hard at creating really great games. So, if you have not played a Diablo series, go check it out. I think it's fun.
It's your easy point of entry to
the Blizzard universe.
RPG-ish leveling in the Blizzard universe.
For sure.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we jump on over into new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Grand Theft Auto 5. And this is out for the 360 and the PS3. This is the latest and greatest in Rockstar's GTA series of games, and the first major game in the series since 2008. Now, I know there was Big Gay Tony's Big Gay Boat Ride, or all those weird fucking add-ons they had for GTA 4. But that's a considerable amount of time, 5 years since the last actual GTA game release. The game is huge in scope, unbelievably huge. It's if you take the worlds that were in everything from GTA 3, GTA 4, what was the Wild West game there?
Red Dead.
Every one of Rockstar's games, Red Dead Redemption, you put all those worlds together, and this is bigger than all of them combined. So that's how huge this game is. The single player campaign has you play as 3 different characters, and they have these intertwining stories. So you're not always stuck on this one storyline. You're not stuck playing this one character. You're kind of switching back and forth between these multiple storylines. The game looks beautiful. Rockstar's made some subtle changes to the game based on the kind of criticisms that people had for GTA 4, where people were constantly commenting and complimenting the Saints Row series for doing things right that GTA hadn't. Now GTA said, okay, you know what? The Saints Row was originally this bullshit knockoff that was going to go away after their first iteration, and now they just keep putting out games and people love them. Let's take some of that into account. Let's fix those things and let's make our game better. And they have taken some of that in, and they're trying to do right the same things that Saints Row's done, right?
Yeah.
It's got some 16-player multiplayer coming on October 1st when Grand Theft Auto Online goes live. Overall, the game just looks fucking amazing. Fans of the series probably want to pick this up, or if you're looking for something to bridge this 2-month gap between now and the new consoles, this is, and you don't have something like Halo or Borderlands that you just keep piecemealing on the DLC, this is something that can definitely carry you that 2 months. Like, there is so much content here, you're actually going to be hard pressed to finish this before the new consoles come out, but it will definitely bridge that gap for you. So I can't recommend it more. I obviously have too much stuff going on now as it is, but I can't recommend this enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. I like all GTAs. Even if I play GTA for like a day, I get everything that I want out of it. I've always bought a GTA. I've never been like some hardcore fan that plays it until his eyes bleed. More so because I get a little bored inside an open world after a while with missions and stuff like that. But the amount of stuff to do, it's almost very hard to like explain what you can do in this game that varies from the old GTAs. I think even a guy like me is going to have a lot of trouble actually putting it down. They've kind of said it's a open world do anything. Like, it almost like there is no plot at this point. Yes, there's a storyline you can follow, but you can genuinely do anything. I mean, it's crazy to explain.
If you get on the beach, you can get on a jet ski. And you can get a bunch of guys in jet skis, and there's actually a course there where then you can do a jet ski racing game, a la, what was that old Dreamcast
like
Wipeout?
Game?
Or
Whiteout, or I don't know. Who
yeah,
cares?
Whatever it was. But it's a legitimate jet ski. When granted, you're wearing like your suit and fucking pants playing it, but you're still racing jet skis in this amazing looking, like some of the best graphics you'll see on the 360, and it's in there. Like, you can do that. You can go fly an airplane. You can fly a biplane, and you can do crop dusting. Like, there's so much weird shit that's in there. Like, you think of it and you're like, I wonder if I can take that and do this. Oh yeah, I can do that. They plan for that.
Yeah,
they plan for everything.
You can do like real estate. If you want to be a real estate tycoon, you start buying up properties and developing land, and like, they really made this game. I mean, it's a game that has games within the game. It's the Inception of games. Like, really it is. There are many layers to it, as opposed to like just, I mean, the old GTAs were essentially all the same model, and you'd eventually be like, what's the hack code to give me all the weapons? And then you'd shoot, see how long you could last till the cops like killed you. I think they're finally trying to get away from that. They're still telling a story. They're telling it from 3 different angles this time. So you take the role of 3 different types of characters, crime characters, and you get to switch between it.
Fatigue that you get.
I was like,
here I am. Now I'm going back to my house. Now, so boom, now you switch over to this other guy, and he's got his own thing going on. It's eventually tying in with yours. It's coming back. It's kind of breaking and splitting, and I think that they've definitely done something right.
Yeah, they've definitely changed it enough, and certainly in terms of the amount of investment, we were talking about this before the show. This is the most expensive video game ever created. It's over $300 million that it took to build it. They're expecting to actually recoup over $1 billion within the first week of sales. This is really like high level shit that they're doing at this point. Having the balls to even make a $350 million video game is crazy. I think they said the only movie that even compares to it, because it was actually breaking records all across the board, including the investment when compared to movies, is I believe Pirates of the Caribbean was the only movie that so far has outspent it at like $460 or something like that. So, I mean, a lot of money, a lot of time, like Derek said, 5 years. This is a big game. The hype is there for a reason. So it'll be nice just to see if it, like, how it does. Because it's sort of been, this is the only thing people are waiting for, because everyone's got to wait for the Xbox One. It's the only thing you can really buy that's AAA from this point forward. And it's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Everyone's like ready to get out there. I'm assuming Tuesday no one will be at work. It'll be kind of interesting to see. So I won't pick it up right away.
Social media was all GTA today.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? And everyone's got like they've got their hacked copies that they've had, for days, and people are playing it. So if you check the internet now, you'll already see reviews and streams and all this shit out there.
And arrests.
Yeah. People going to prison for GTA. The irony is quite thick there.
It's so quality. Like, they should be like, all right, we should have you arrested, but you stole our game, and our game's about stealing. Inception. This is the show about Inception.
It is.
Yes. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop over into gaming news? First story,
a title that I actually was playing as of last week. Red 5 Studios is going to suspend Firefall's PvP because it wants to, quote unquote, get it right. It's a good thing. It's via joystick. Red 5 Studios will suspend the player versus player PvP elements from Firefall at a near future point, so hopefully sooner rather than later, to focus their resources on improving the game's PvE, player versus environment aspects. CEO Mark Kern announced this on Thursday. Kern explained that Jetball, which was Firefall's last big attempt at the PvP mode that was designed for esports, was fun, but it didn't attract many of the players. In fact, 3% or less were actually getting involved in PvP, which is odd when you look at Firefall. If you don't know the game, it's a shooter. So
they've tried to spin it as a PvP game.
Yeah, it was built on a platform of being, again, the Jetball was built to be an esport. They actually wanted money and people to be involved in this. So it's very interesting. At the moment, Kern described PvP as an important part of Firefall. I should hope so. And said that the studio will regroup, rethink, and deliver the best PvP system it can, which is a good thing. Kern said that the studio's most immediate efforts will focus on PvE, and probably because that seems to be what the community loves, 97%, can't be wrong, as players want more content, fewer bugs, who would have thought, and more polish. Isn't that the same as fewer bugs? I believe it is. Although Kern did not have a date for the suspension of the PvP, he did say it will eventually return to Firefall when it's ready, quote unquote. Abnormally bad news for a game like this? I mean, what do you think? A game that's built on PvP is getting rid of PvP, or I don't know. What do you think?
It goes to show that something went wrong in the process, because long before Firefall ever came out, it was a staple at your PAX events twice a year. At E3, there was always this big presence. It was always pitching esports, because everybody knows that's where the future is. It's people want to be competitive in a game, but they also want to be able to watch that game. They want to be able to have some sort of incentivized play to that game. And Firefall, they knew this right out of the gate. They're like, all right, this is where we have to be. This is our space. It's the esports, money-making, fun to watch. We're going to build in the spectator mode. We're going to build in the presentation mode. And it just kind of floundered right out of the gate. Yeah. And to have 3% of the people playing PvP in a game that your PvE was just to getting into people's hands, and PvP was supposed to be your long pole, that doesn't work. That's not how you continue to make your money over the long haul. So it's kind of shitty that they had to do this, but you would rather them do this and fix it and get something out there that works, instead of kind of sitting on a property that's going to fall apart and not produce any income for them, and then eventually just drop support for it altogether and fall by the wayside.
Well, but this is one of those, I wonder if this isn't one of those situations where the consumer is dictating the path of the game instead of the developer. This happens all the time, and I think this is a good thing, where you have a developer saying, look, we're looking at the statistics. We thought this was going to be a PvP game. Clearly, 97% of the people love PvE. That's what they're in it for. And if they're going to shift resources and say, look, we know PvP's fucked, maybe we take a backseat to that shit, and we spend this money that we're getting, what little money we're getting, on the content for PvE, this could be what is their sustainable model. They don't know. I mean, sometimes when you go into business, you think, I'm going to build the best PvP game ever, and you get PvE out of it. World of Warcraft was a PvE game. Arenas came, I can't even remember.
Long after.
Yeah, right? The third
in.
expansion, second expansion, but yeah, like 5 years in. It's a big deal. Esports, $1 million checks get written for this type of shit. So sometimes you don't know what your fans want. You got to play the waters. You see what happens, and maybe you come up with a different model. So I don't know. Maybe we don't see PvP for them for a while, but that might not be a bad thing. It's hard to say without seeing what the numbers are like. We don't know.
Yeah. Build up your player base and then see what happens.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So good move, I guess. Yeah. It's not dead yet. By the way, I have it installed still. I played it once. I got bored. Not gonna lie, and it's buggy It's buggy as fuck.
But see, they're adding polish.
They're adding polish. They're
Fixing
removing
bugs. They just said
fixing
it right
bugs
there.
and adding polish. So they take the bug out and then they polish where the bug was.
Yeah. And it's shiny there. There's a
shiny-
gap. but
It's a gap,
shiny.
yeah. They buff it out. It's good. I like that move. All right. Speaking of esports, Battlefield 4 open beta will commence on October 1st for the 360, the PS3, and Windows. This is via Polygon. So good stuff here. Battlefield 4 open beta will begin October 1st for all three of those platforms, according to a blog by, who else? Peter Moore on the official, I think, did they post it on their blog, on EA's blog?
Yeah, his blog on EA's site.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Photo bomber Peter Moore.
It's, yeah, he's all up in our shit. We can't get rid of this guy. It's out of control. Anyway, so those who pre-ordered Battlefield 4 from Origin exclusive Digital Deluxe, or from the exclusive Digital Deluxe edition, will automatically receive access to the Battlefield 4 multiplayer beta, along with, of course, bonus in-game items, because they like it when you buy their shit before it's even ready. It's how we do it now, guys. The beta access will also be given to those who pre-ordered last year's Medal of Honor Warfighter, if you guys remember that, in addition to, of course, the Battlefield Premium members. So if you're a Premium member, you're in. Battlefield 4 will release October 29th for the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PS3. More announced that Battlefield 4 will launch on November 19th, of course, for the Xbox One, and November 12th for the PlayStation 4. Betas are good. Well, betas are good if they're actually using it to beta.
Well,
And not as a
if you're
marketing
just using
ploy.
it to give people content early, then it's not so good. But if
Right.
you're using it to actually shake out bugs, which is something that Bungie was always great at, which
Yeah.
is why their shooters would come out on the console and they came out fairly polished right out of the gate. They didn't have the same multiplayer issues that always plague the Call of Duty games. And that's because they took that time to take a beta, release it, time limited. It's like 2, 3, 4 weeks tops, cut it off, and then left themselves 2 or 3 months before release to work that. Now, granted, there's a lot less time here between the Battlefield 4 beta and the release. It's literally a number of weeks. But at least they're going to take in that beta data, and try to glean what they can from that and make whatever sort of changes or modifications they need to make based on the characterizations they see from the beta play, which it's only better for people that are buying at launch. By having that time and having, as long as the developer uses that information they're
that's the
getting,
key.
the game gets better for everyone. If they're just giving it as like a boon to people, like really it's like an early access and they're still working on the game, but they're not taking into account the shit that's going wrong in beta or the things that people are talking about, then there's no benefit. But if they're going to take all that into account and use that as data points to try to make the game better, then when you go buy it on release date, it's going to be so much better for you.
And that's what we had this discussion on Thick and Thin. This was like months ago, that betas are now becoming these marketing tools, and they're not actually betas. Like, they shouldn't even call them betas anymore. I'm hoping that's not the case with Battlefield 4. I love Battlefield, the series. I've played every single one. I think they do a generally good job, but I will say Battlefield and DICE in general has problems when it comes to bugs. They definitely have issues when they release their games. I don't want to attribute that to EA. I don't know if it's EA or if it's DICE, but that series tends to have those bugs.
But that series usually tends to be closed. They don't
It does.
they don't have betas.
They don't do a lot of the betas. And people would even argue, like you said, using Halo, that Reach could have been better had it had a beta. That even in those cases, when they think they've got it right, like they've been doing the game so long that they believe they've got it this time, even those people, I think, should always try to get their game out there in some form to do testing, even if it's just network testing, which is generally what plagues Call of Duty, just to see what's it like to have X million members on a network shitting on your game at 24 hours a day. You don't know that data in a closed, environment. You don't know that
200
data.
guys on your LAN.
Yeah.
It plays
Like,
awesome
it's
for them.
flawless. There's no lag at all. It's local area networks out of control. It's so fast. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope they do it. I hope it's for the good of the game and not just marketing, but we'll see. So if you have signed up for any of those 3 little deals, or if you've for some reason bought Medal of Honor, let us know how it goes. Yeah, I know 4 people bought it. Those people were like, I can't wait to play Battlefield 4 in a year. That's what they were thinking when they bought it.
They've got a bonus. It's like when I bought Crackdown. So I could get
Crackdown
the
for
Halo 3 beta.
Exactly. Like, oh man, but Crackdown turned out that actually was kind
It
of
turned
a
out to be
fun
okay.
game.
But
Yeah.
the irony is, like, I didn't play Crackdown
Right.
from that disc that I bought for the beta. I actually got rid of that disc and then eventually played it later on. And I was like, oh, that game was pretty okay.
Oh, really?
But I literally had just bought it for the beta. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. So if you want to go buy Medal of Honor right now, just, no, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Be grandfathered in.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, next story. Borderlands 2 fans should not expect future DLC to be a second season of content. So not as robust, if you will. Gearbox Software president Randy Pitchford has said not to expect future content for Borderlands 2 to be on par with the Season 1 DLC. So, I mean, this makes sense. We're moving on. Yep. Granted, its value will exceed its cost, he says. But at the same time, players shouldn't have high expectations for that content, which is a really weird comment to make. Like, don't get your hopes up.
Well, but you come out of the gate and it's like if your first car is a Lamborghini and you're like, now our next car is going to be awesome, but it's not going to be that awesome. And then your next car is like a Porsche. It's still awesome. It's just not, it's not Lamborghini awesome, but it's definitely not like, Ford Escort. It's a different realm here. Okay.
No,
and if you drive a Ford Escort, it's nothing personal. I just need to pick something that was not a Ferrari or a Porsche.
Yeah. That's pretty easy to do. It's really any car under that. There's a lot of options.
Yes.
So, quote, he did say, we are still spending energy building new things for Borderlands 2, but we're also building new things for the future. And this is important because you love Borderlands 2. You can't play it forever. You want a Borderlands 3. Got to put money in there. We are building some new things for the next generation console, and we are creating a new IP. This is really cool news for me. I love new IPs. We've got a lot of attention diverting to other efforts beyond Borderlands 2. End quote. Quote, it's not fair to me for me to say there's another season. There's not going to be as much new stuff, but the good news is there's more stuff and it's awesome and the value of it will exceed the cost. I think that's what he likes to keep saying. But I don't want anyone later saying, why wasn't there a whole season like there was before? Quote, there might turn out to be, quote, there might turn out to be in referencing the season, but I can only see what we have in motion right now. The latest DLC for Borderlands 2 is the Ultimate Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack 2. TK Baja's Bloody Harvest is due out this fall. It's already so much DLC content anyway. I mean, they really have done a tremendous job of this game. Of course, the new console's coming soon. So does anyone even does this hurt you? Are you like, oh man, I already have 80,000 hours put in this game. I want to put another 86 million in, or is it no big deal?
See, I think that I'm kind of the target demographic for who's talking to here because now granted, I have two games. I do this with Halo and with Borderlands, and just because of different people that I play with, but Season 1 was a great value, $20. You got 4 giant DLC add-ons, huge packs. Now what they've done now is they said, okay, well, we're going to give you some content to cover you until the end of the lifespan of this console cycle. So let's give you a way to increase your level cap. That's the Ultimate Vault Hunter Pack upgrade pack 2. Real cheap, $5. And then you have this other TK Baja's Bloody Harvest that's coming out in the fall, which is, I think, about a month before the new consoles come. Plenty of time to basically take that. Now you've got one more DLC pack to play through. You can do a whole nother playthrough of the game with this new expanded level cap. There's still all these things. Every time one of these comes out, they add all kinds of new weapons and all these new perks and a new way to build up your tree and these new skills. It's definitely, even if you never played any of the DLC packs and you just kept playing through the campaign, like changed from Vault Hunter mode to pure Vault Hunter, true Vault Hunter mode, and then play through it that way, then change to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and play through it that way. Just playing through the campaign, you are getting so many different skills and the enemies are all scaling up. That alone is a real fun way to play through the game. So all this DLC, it's just added bonus. And I have no problem with what Randy's saying. And the fact that they're working on a new IP is really something that excites me.
Yeah, of course.
Because Borderlands was that new IP.
Exactly.
People saw, oh, they're working on some new IP. What's going on? Oh, fuck that. Like, just give us what we know. And then all of a sudden Borderlands comes out and it's like they fucking skeeted the golden jizz all over everybody. And now people can't get enough Borderlands. So, maybe Gearbox has another big golden load in them. Who knows? Yeah,
I just love when I mean, you know me, I talk about this all the time. It's kind of, I'm a broken record when it comes to this, but new IPs are the most important thing to ever happen to video games. We need companies like Gearbox that are willing to spend a shitload of money because it costs a lot to develop a new IP and fail. That's the important part. Fail, because new IPs come out, people play and they're like, this fucking sucks. And that company just lost hundreds of millions of dollars possibly in marketing and development time and time in general. But it's important. It's important because it moves games forward. It makes you don't want to play Halo forever. Trust me, it's not a good thing. You don't want to play WoW forever. I've been dying to play a different game other than WoW for years. People are trying, but they just haven't got it for me yet. So this is a good thing. I can't wait. And plus, come on, guys. New Xbox coming out in like a month. What are you playing Borderlands 2 for? All right? Buy some new shit. Let's do it. Good stuff.
Exactly.
Good stuff. All right. Next story. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a little bit for everyone watching, for our fan base. Report. Developers say the PS4 is 50% more powerful than the Xbox One. Yeah, I know. It's good stuff. This is via Edge. PlayStation 4 is currently around 50% faster than its rival, the Xbox One. Multiple high-level game development sources have described the difference in performance between the consoles to be significant, that's a quote, and, quote, obvious. Our contacts have told us that memory reads on the PS4 are 40 to 50% quicker than the Xbox One. And its ALU, which it's, I'm going to butcher this, arithmetic logic unit.
Arithmetic logic.
Arithmetic?
Like arithmetic?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
like arithmetic?
There you go. Is around 50% faster. Our basic example we were giving suggested that without optimization for either console, a platform-agnostic development build can run at around 30 FPS at 1920 by 1080 on a PS4, but it'll run around 20-something FPS in 1600 by 900 on the Xbox One. Quote, Xbox One is weaker and it's a pain to use its ESRAM, concluded one developer. Now, Microsoft, keep in mind, is aware of this problem and has recently updated the clock speed of the Xbox One. In fact, this is the second time they've updated the clock speed, and it's working hard to close the gap on the PS4. Though one developer we spoke downplayed that move. Quote, the clock speed update is not significant. It does not change things that much, unquote. Of course, something is better than nothing, he also quoted. Even though it's close to launch, and this is what everyone needs to keep in mind, the hardware is not locked, said another source. Sony and Microsoft are still working on the graphic drivers, which is a very important point for each console, and the Xbox One is lagging behind in that regard. Microsoft has been late, quote, on their drivers and has been hurting them significantly, said one source. Another described Xbox One's graphic drivers less charitably, saying they are, quote, horrible. Both consoles' graphics will continue to improve right up to and, of course, beyond the launch, which will even up the difference and the performance a little. Now, there's more that's to this story as well if you want to keep reading on Edge, and maybe we'll put it in the quotes, but there's a whole lot more to this story. But what do you think about this? I mean, what do you think, Derek?
Well, first off, as a what the fuck story, this story is definitely as me saying what the fuck. But
right.
I always take this with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. And what I was just saying in the chat room while you were reading was, look back at the 360 and the PS3. Like, there was not a single person that could say, every news outlet was like, the PS3 is much more powerful than the 360. And in actuality, you look at the games, and it was 6 of one, half dozen the other. Some games look better on the PS3, and even the same titles, like certain Batman Arkham games look better on the 360 than they did on the PS3. Certain other multi-platform games look better on the PS3 than they did on the 360. Right. That's not the end-all, be-all of everything. And despite the PS3 having better statistics and all this other stuff, we have a hell of a lot more 360s in the house than PS3s. And that's really what it boils down to. It boils down to where you're going to play your games, not what the specs say, not with the one developer that doesn't know how to use ESRAM and he's too fucking dumb to tell you how to, like, he's like, oh, I just want to do standard fucking malloc calls and I don't want to have to deal with ESRAM. No, that guy's a douche. Like, learn how to program, fuckface. Come on, get with the program. So, it's really, it depends on the developer. It depends on what they're used to coding to. And the other side of things is these optimizations do come along as the consoles go. Like, think of the best game you ever saw in the 360 and then compare it to when Halo 4 came out. Halo 4 seemed like somehow Microsoft was like, oh, by the way, we saved this little switch on the console where you could turn on and like improve everything. Because Halo 4 didn't look like any other game that had ever been on the 360.
Yeah,
it looked like a high-end gaming PC. Yeah. Like, all of a sudden they flip some shit on and so it just goes to show there's more in there than people know. It's just how, if you know how to use what's there. It's like the guy with the little dick. Maybe he's got some kind of motion. He fucking gets clits throbbing. You know, you just never know.
Yeah, there is the throbbing clit technique that most tiny PP people know.
Yep.
It's very true.
So that's what Microsoft does.
Yeah.
They work the clit.
They know. They know how to work the clit. Yeah. The Clit Commander. That's another movie.
I am the commander of clit.
And people have to also keep in mind, just to add to that too, and this has been going on forever. Game developers usually won't release a prettier version. At least they try to not release a prettier version on one console or the next. And the reason they do that is quite simple. If I'm a consumer and I've got a PS4 and you make that my cross-platform game better on that Xbox 360, that alienates me as a PS4 owner or vice versa. So there's a lot of political clout that actually goes into this, like goes into doing these games. I just lost Derek. But there's a lot of that like politicalness that goes on there. And he's calling me back. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's doing. Did you just shut yourself off?
It was a misclick.
It's really, see, this is what a live show does, people.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, there's that combination of having the political atmosphere of also building that game. So it's tough. It's a tough call. Even if the game is like a ton better, well then it doesn't matter. You're probably going to get a very close version of that game on the other console. It doesn't matter. So keep that in mind. I know that sounds shitty that like you might have this PS4 that probably can do more than the Xbox or whatever. But really, no matter what, once it comes out, it's probably going to look as similar as possible because these developers don't want to alienate anyone on either side. They want both systems to sell a shit ton of games, period.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
All
right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails? Now, last week, Blue Steel asked about the Whoa, what's your fucking red check mark
that's from
there,
you, That's
buddy?
from you dumbass.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Maybe next time don't shut off the stream when you're trying. Maybe I'm just saying, just don't. Maybe next time.
I need a better way to mute myself without having to like switch windows and click something without like looking away from the screen, so I'm not like
Just
looking
get a
down.
mute switch on your mic.
I need a foot pedal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can buy them cheap.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Just
Maybe I'll switch in my. I have that old Griffin technology, like the super silver brushed aluminum fucking pop thing. I'll just use that.
There you go.
All right. So last week, Blue Steel asked about the pre-order bonuses and perks with digital downloads, and I said I'd look into it. And although we don't have any concrete information, according to Larry Herb, initial games like, hang on.
Oh, see, look at the live show. Look at him. He's quick. Oh, wow. I should have panned out, but
That's why I went to mute the first time so I could cough.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, and then I hung up on you, and then I didn't get a cough because I was like, I need the show back. So according to Larry Herb, games that you purchase digitally within the first 2 weeks of launch will get all of the day one edition bonuses and whatever other basically that's the pre-order bonus for the day one editions.
Right.
Is they just call it the day one edition that has these add-ons or whatever. So if you download it within the first 2 weeks, you buy it digitally and download it, you get those anyway. Moving forward, Microsoft basically doesn't have anything to say on that up at this point, but I would assume at some point these two things are going to jive where you're going to be able to either pre-order digitally and get it that way, or maybe it'll be something like as long as you buy it the first day digitally.
Yeah, right.
So those are definitely coming, but that's the latest and greatest from Major Nelson, Larry Herb, whatever you want to call him, but that is the latest and greatest. Also, Altius asks, which launch titles for the new consoles do you two believe will be the most successful? The least? Why?
This is a really tough one.
All right. Do you want me to pull up the list here for you?
Yeah, give me the list. I mean, I will say this is, and I know it sounds shitty, but I'm getting them on launch. Let's start with that. I'm getting both systems on launch because I'm a moron. But there aren't really any games that I think are great launch titles. And I know Hitman would freak out because I think Hitman's getting like every launch title that there is. But of course, Battlefield I think is a generally good launch title. But I'll say this. I don't know if you check the last story we were talking about, but like their hardware isn't even finalized and their fucking drivers aren't. These games I don't think are going to be mind-blowingly awesome. Just in a general sense, I don't think they are. So
I think if you're going to pick a launch title, you have to pick something that's an exclusive first off.
I would agree with that as well. You
because
need that.
A difference in a week between the two consoles does not make a multi-platform game the winner.
Right. Agreed.
So on the PS4 side, I would say if I had to look at the big exclusive games, wow, I'm looking at this list here. I guess Killzone.
Yeah, FNAF.
Like, I just don't know.
That's what I mean. I just don't feel like, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's anything to really write home about. Rome was, I think, the one that, is it called Rome? Is that the name of the one for the Xbox One? Is that I always forget.
No, that's called
Rain or something like that. See, I don't even know.
It's Rise.
Oh, Rise. Yeah, right. So Rise looks pretty good. I mean, again, it's probably not a game that I'm going to run out to the store and get. And I'm not really emotionally connected to any of those games. I am more psyched to play Grand Theft Auto 5. This is pretty sad. On my 10-year-old system than I am to play any of the launch games that are currently coming out. And that includes Battlefield 4. I mean,
Dead Rising 3 on
Dead Rising
Xbox
does
One.
look very good. In fact, Dead Rising will be, I think it's the only one that I put down on Amazon, that I put money down on Amazon to get. Not outside of Battlefield 4. That was a given for me just because I like shooters. But I think that's the only other one that I'm even buying. I'm pretty sure. So there's really not a lot out there. Unless, I wonder if anyone in chat has anything ordered. I know that Sarcasm is
everybody's
obviously
getting
got
Call
the
of Duty
4,
Ghosts and the multi-platform games everybody's getting.
Right. Well, and of course the Forza people are buying Forza, like Sarcasm was saying. But I mean, Rise, I think people have all at least been talking about that. But I don't know. Does the gameplay really look that interesting? I guess. But Battlefield 4 Ghost, that would be a trip. Battlefield 4 and Ghost are two like no-brainers. Like Derek said, everyone's going to have those two. So there's really no choice there almost. That's if you're going to buy the system, you probably should buy those games because there's really not that many things to come out that are like super awesome other than those two. And I'm not even buying Call of Duty. I'm fucking done.
See, Tiff doesn't play any Call of Duty games, but that's the shooter at launch. So she's picking up Call of Duty to play.
Why not some Battlefield?
Battlefield's a different kind of shooter.
It is a different kind of shooter.
You really need to be able to follow directions.
Yeah, you can't just like do
I
what
can't
you
follow
want.
directions. I'm the lone wolf of every teams. I'm not the guy you want on your team if you want someone that's going to be your bitch. I'm going to go do my own thing, and I'm going to win for us, but I'm going to do my own thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so moving over to the Xbox One, I've already said the other ones. Really, you've got your Dead Rising, which I think is a quality purchase. That's usually fun. And what they're doing in Dead Rising actually looks good. But outside of that, you've got Legos, Marvel Heroes. That's both. Killer Instinct.
You got that fucked up Loco Cycle game that we played.
Loco Cycle, yeah. Exactly. Crimson Dragon. That's Xbox Live game.
Oh, yeah, yep.
You've got Need for Speed Rivals. I mean, not terrible, but, I think Skylanders, that Swap Force is going to be out. Watch Dogs.
It's like a ripoff of
right, yeah.
Of Hot Shot Golf.
Right, Hot Shot Golf, yeah. Watch Dogs, which looks to be a phenomenal game. I will go as far as to say that. But again, cross-platform, I'll probably actually end up picking that up for the PC, believe it or not, because PC will actually deliver better graphics in the beginning. So, I don't know. Watch Dogs, for me, it's probably Watch Dogs, Dead Rising 3, and then the two shooters. Disappointment-wise, I think Rise is going to be a disappointment. I hate saying that, but I don't know.
I thought so after what we saw at E3, but this week seeing all these new 1080p 60 frame a second death animations, I'm fucking all back on Rise.
Really? But is that gonna keep you going? It's not gonna keep you going, right?
I don't think it's as dumbed down as we thought.
All right.
Originally it was a Kinect game, then they made it a controller game,
right?
And then it seemed like it was only like 3 moves that you repeated. It was like the Infinity Blade of console games, but now it is all over the place. So it's back on my radar. I don't know if it's a day one purchase, but it's definitely a purchase.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, some mixed feelings about this launch. I mean, it's a new system, but it's weird. It's a new system, but I don't care about the games, which is probably not a good sign.
Well, that's the same thing we had though at the 360.
Yeah, right. You had Call of Duty.
We were all balls deep in Halo 2 at the time.
Right.
All we wanted to do was play Halo 2 again with the enhanced graphics.
Yeah, that was it.
And we all bought games at launch. So we all bought Call of Duty 2. We all bought
was it Project
Project Gotham Racing.
Was Perfect Dark out there?
Perfect Dark Zero.
Yes.
Those were the 3 launch titles that everybody bought. And as so much better as Perfect Dark Zero looked, we all still played Halo 2.
Yep.
Because that was the one game that Bungie had done something to where once you did the back compat, it was more than just back compat. It upgraded the graphics to at least 720p.
I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe
so. I think Call of Duty Ghosts is really the game that's going to showcase all this. And
Yeah.
if you're a Call of Duty guy, you've got a winning game right out of the gate, no matter which console you're buying. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And you know what? The next set of games that come out, there's a reason why Halo isn't a launch title.
Right.
Because Halo needs to be the pristine title. And that's why it comes out after that.
Yeah.
So the launch titles come out. They had to start working a while ago on, like, look at this. We're just finding out the hardware specs now. They've been writing a game for hardware that they didn't even know what the final specs were going to be. So they might have to dumb down their game. They might have undershot and have to. They're like, oh, we didn't even make textures that could be used at 1080p because we feared the game would end up at, some lower res to go at 30 or 60 frames a second. No. So these guys didn't know. Your launch games, they're going to look great. But you know what? The games that come year after year after year after that are going to look even better.
Yeah, you need a minimum, and I say this, a minimum of a year until you start seeing the actual true power of the system, which kind of sucks. I mean, that's why PC will always be, generally speaking, the absolute best in graphics because it's constantly being developed on and constantly the hardware is upgrading. It's less of a moving target. This is right now, it's literally just a moving target. They're hoping they hit these specs. They're hoping they get within this range. But they really won't know until they get the final piece of hardware. And they don't even have the drivers yet. That's really important. Yep. Believe it or not, the hardware is good. And this is the problem that happened with the PS3. They had phenomenal hardware. But it was really hard to develop for because the software just wasn't there. And that's how 360 actually ended up getting a real leg up on the PS3, especially in the beginning, because people were already used to developing for Windows. They already had that PC sort of background. And so developing for that system wasn't that hard. So even when you read this shit about the PS4 being, again, Derek said this before, being this like hardware beast and developers are like, oh man, I just fucking jack off and great games just appear. We'll see what really happens when this software and these drivers come out. Microsoft is a software company. Let's not forget that. And they do a really good job. Well, people will probably slap me for saying that. They do a decent job of having a coherent way to develop on their system. People will probably slit their wrists developing for Microsoft, but at least there's consistency there.
And you get 2 for 1, PC and Xbox.
Yeah, there you go. So We'll see.
All right. Well, great question, Altius. And why don't you ask us that same question again in a month? Because our answer is going to be totally different.
Right.
All right, so if any of you feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment in this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. Go in there, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, questions, concerns. Hey, you guys were totally wrong when you said X. We don't care. We'll talk about it next week. Sponsors. We're still looking for a sponsor. Pay us, we'll sell your shit. 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. We don't care what you're selling. We'll just pay us and we'll sell it. We'll tell people it's the best. Mm-hmm. We don't care.
Fact.
Like, I'm pretty sure we've covered that multiple times.
Yes.
All right, Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. King of the Internet, got of everything that's holding at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And of course, I'm at twitter.com/DudeIRock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
Please rate and review our podcast in iTunes. Give us 5 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write us a little nice review. It doesn't have to be long, just short, concise, to the point. God's ! That's the shortest you can do.
Yeah, it's
the longest I won't even get into. It could be like a War and Peace novel about how, when you were born and then work all the way up till now and too old to play and still got game. That is really the pinnacle review. If somebody posts that, that would be phenomenal. Now, I just want to reach out to our audience one time because when we were Too Old to Type Radio, and we have a certain listener base, and that certain listener base has followed us over here to Still Got Game, including a new video listener base. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews in iTunes for Too Old to Type Radio. There is literally one of you has gone and reviewed Still Got Game.
Bastards.
One. Like, just take 2 fucking seconds. Go to iTunes. If you got any enjoyment out of this, go to iTunes, pull up Still Got Game, give us 5 stars, and just write something nice. Like, even if you've already done it for Too Old to Type Radio, even if you have already done it when we were gaming under the influence, and I know a lot of you did, and maybe that's why you're not coming back to the well for this 3rd time, but look, we're up at episode 11. Like, we're here to stay. We just need your help. So please go there, go to iTunes, search up Still Got Game, and write something nice about us, because one review is not going to help us get on the featured page.
Nope.
It's just, it doesn't seem fair. Like, what we give you, we don't ask for a lot in return. It doesn't cost you anything.
No money.
Just go and give us 5 minutes of your time. It's like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you did it before, you just copy paste. I don't care if you copy paste. If you had a review that said we are the best things ever in the world, copy paste.
Yeah, even if it's like Tooled Type Radio is the best podcast ever, go copy that.
Yeah,
Drop it to Still Got Game. It doesn't matter. Just please repost something, because it is a different show in iTunes. We didn't take the easy way out, which was just renaming the RSS feed and renaming the show in iTunes and just having everything be automatic. We created a new show so we could start from scratch and build up the audience once again. We took the hard way, so we're just asking you for a minute or two of your time to do the right thing. So please, if you enjoy the show, just give us 2 minutes of your time.
Love it.
iTunes, Still Got Game, 5 stars, nice review. As soon as we're offline tonight, please just go ahead and do it.
Love it. And don't forget also to subscribe to the YouTube channel, where this will actually be every Wednesday as well. Those subscriptions help us a great amount as well, because we are video now and we need 2 different channels here. So if you like listening in your car, cool. If you don't want to, whatever reason, sell your soul to iTunes like Blue Steel, just go subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube. You get every Wednesday. It's fantastic. You watch us again. You watch us over and over. You want to talk about Dick Wolves, you go back to the 10th episode. It's right there for you. Go do that.
It's all there. YouTube.com/tooledsplay.
It's all there.
And last but not least, you can join us live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You go to twitch.tv/tooledsplay, and you can watch the show unedited. Every fuck up is there. If I accidentally say cock, penis, McShit, dick, tit instead of like next story,
that would be amazing.
That would be a really big mess up.
That's a huge mess up.
But it would be there, and you would see it live, and you'd be like, haha, did you see when Derek said cock, penis, McTit, shit, fuck up instead of next story? That was fucked up. But you can see that live, and there's a little chat room in Twitch TV that you can create an account. You don't have to just be a viewer. If you want to contribute, you can sign up for Twitch TV, log in, and you can post comments during the show. And when I'm talking, Jay's looking at those. When Jay's talking, I'm looking at those. And we respond. Sometimes we bring those into the show. So you can actually contribute to the direction and the content of this show as it happens.
Yeah.
And that's Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Just join us, twitch.tv/tooledsplay.
You could be like G40, who's contributing the word clit right now for all to see.
He wanted me to be the clit commander, which I am.
So be it.
I'm the commander of clits.
So join us. Do it.
Yep. All right, on that, we'll wrap this episode up. I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
It's Inception.
Inside the side of inside.
Inception.
It just goes deeper.
Inception. I gotta get us out of here. See, banged my glass. We're safe.
Oh, good stuff. Nice job.
Oh, wow.
Go team.
Oh, that's quality.
That's the only way we do it. We hang up on each other. We fight. It's fucking great. What is this? See this thing that popped up. Why can't start video trying to? Oh.
Okay, I have this too, but I can't show you mine.
Yeah.
Mine is like literally just spinning up there, and I don't see the video.
Weird.
But you see I see my
fine.
video on Twitch TV, so obviously you see my video.
I'm just gonna put this right here for you. Put that in good look. I can't. Won't let me.
Damn. Yeah, see, I can't stream you mine because we're here. But I'm gonna show you what mine looks like via a text message, because I've never seen anything like this. This is fucked up.
This is Inception at this point.
Yeah. Now, as soon as I bring out the phone and nobody can see what's going on.
Oh, I know how I can do Inception. Here, hold on. I got something for you here. Look at this. Bam. Oh, look at that. Look what's going on. Oh yeah, that just happened.
Oh, that's Inception.
Oh, it's Inception.
That is massive.
Oh, I'm just putting you in a box.
Wow, you totally incepted me. Oh my god.
Nobody puts Derek in a corner. Look at oh god, that's
oh my god, that is massive amounts of Inception.
That is for free.
Like my head's gonna explode. Like I don't even know where I am in there, and I
just put me on top of that Inception, and then I go back into the Inception. Look at this. Oh, we're going back. Oh, we're going back. Oh, we're going back. Oh, this is quality TV programming.
Yes, that's what we do. It's like we take the smallest novelties and we take advantage of them. You're still going back.
I could comment on the inception that's happening right over there, and then incept upon that comment of the inception, and then incept inside of that comment that I incepted before. Oh, this is insane.
Oh, you are. You're Oh, look at you. You're pointing at the inception.
At the inception
next to your inception.
Oh, this show is so stupid.
It's pro. That's why people love us.
It's pro. All right, we're out of Inception mode. We're back.
All right. Wow. Oh, see, now you caught me on my phone because I was trying to incept in a different way.
What? You're incepting on your phone?
Oh, yeah. See. So what I'm doing is I am incepting on my phone.
Oh wow, that's an inception.
Incepting the true inception. See?
Wow.
Am I close enough here?
Yeah, that's actually amazing right now. Wow.
Look at that.
You're multimedia incepting.
Oh yeah, that's where the inception really happens. Wow.
Ah, joy.
All right.
Good stuff.
Well, chat room, thank you for dealing with us when we're fucking
idiots.
Oh.
I mean, high quality.